know it's weird having a walking trail named after a doctor. And we are at Mary's Harbor. And gonna do a little hike this morning. Looks like the Gnometown campers are represented. And there's a view of the harbor at Mary's Harbor from on top of the rock. We're going to keep going up, see what else we can see. Must be a generating station making all that noise down there. Well, apparently this Dr. Moret was a physician from Switzerland who they moved here in 1921 so that there would be a doctor at St. Mary's, and they ordered a $1,200 Sears and Roebuck's cottage from the US, and it was shipped here by schooner and then assembled on top of this hill. Moret stayed here for 2 years, then went back to Switzerland. He was replaced by another physician, and then a couple of years later a physician from New York moved here. Unfortunately, there weren't enough patients here, I guess, to justify having a physician. There was a fire and the cottage was lost. But anyway, this would be a cool place to have a cottage on top of the hill overlooking the village and the harbor. But I've really enjoyed the boardwalk hike. It's been super nice. The Junior Joanne and the Great Caribou. Look at the pretty painted houses over there.
This is a really different landscape through here, isn't it?
It is starting to look different.
Yeah. Very much rocky. Like I kind of thought the whole place would look. Really pretty.
We're nearing the coast though.
Yeah.
We're only like 5 miles from the coast, so.
Couple of steep hills here.
Yeah, more steep climbing.
Yes.
Let me see.
Oh wow, quite the gorge over here.
Yeah. Where are we at? We're at camp. Yes, that's the ocean. And we believe what they call the rock is over there somewhere. And this is camp. And what are we doing? We're cooking up a little bit of breakfast for supper tonight. Bacon, eggs, and hash browns. And what Susan got for us here?
So, you know, we watched a couple of YouTubers who did the 51st degree expedition from one side of Labrador to the other, and a couple of them were like, yeah, we picked up the free satellite phone that they let you take. So we kind of were like, huh. So the Transportation and Works Department of Newfoundland Labrador provides a satellite phone for free, and you can pick it up at one end of the Trans-Labrador Highway. Like we picked ours up near Lab City in Wabush. And we're gonna, now that we're over here to the coast, we've got 2 or 3 different locations where we can drop it off, and it's, you know, right here, and it is for emergency calls only, and it, as far as I know, it will only call the predetermined numbers. So like, I can't use the satellite phone and call home, but I can use the satellite phone and call for help if we have, you know, if we're broken down in the middle of the road, or God forbid we should have a medical emergency. So we don't usually worry about, you know, emergencies too much, but we thought it's free, why not have the peace of mind?
Here's a look at our campsite at the Pinware River Provencial Park in Labrador. It's a beautiful beach campsite. I have a hard time believing we have a more beautiful campsite than this anywhere. Pretty sweet for 20 Canadian a night. Just can't beat it. So anyway, we made it to the coast. We're going to stay in this campground for about 3 days while we explore the coast, and then we'll take the ferry across to Newfoundland from Blanc Sablon, which is maybe only about 40 or 50 kilometers from here, so it's close, but we're going to spend the next couple days exploring. This is black fly country and mosquitoes, but mostly black flies, so it's good to be here on the beach with the wind that kind of keeps them at bay, and of course the clam tent, which saves the day. Great place to hang out, cook, and eat supper at night. And it was really sweet last night to fall asleep listening to the waves lapping on the shore. A little more about this campground. There is no electric, sewer, or water. They are all unserviced sites. There are 22 sites. I believe that 8 of them are on the beach here and the remainder are in the woods. There is showers, laundry, bathrooms, and Wi-Fi up at the laundry station. So they did charge, I think, $5, maybe $7.50 Canadian for a car pass to get in. So you have to have a car pass on top of the camping fee.
We drove up to Red Bay today. Red Bay is a UNESCO World Heritage Site thanks to Basque whalers who came to that harbor in the 16th century. They were in search of whales. They found this sheltered harbor, deep water harbor, and the island in the middle of the harbor, Saddle Island, had deep water shores, and it was perfect for whalers to render the whale blubber and then ship it home. We rode just a short little ride, maybe 5 minutes, in a little motorboat over to Saddle Island, and we're given a tour by Juanita as probably only a kilometer or so. And as you walked around the islands, there were mainly just try works, which were the sheds where the whale blubber was rendered into whale oil. And actually, it's just, the remnants. There was nothing there but, like the indentations in the ground where the pots would have sat that they melted the blubber in. And all over the island, it was littered with like these red clay tiles that no one local could remember where they had come from. And it was archaeologists in not in the too distant past, maybe 40 years, who came over, saw those red tiles, and put two and two together that those were the same red tiles that the Basque region in Spain had on their roofs in these whaling villages. And that was how they were able to tie this 16th century whaling village as actually being a Basque whaling village. Interestingly enough, the Basques were the first people who uh, began to trade in whale oil as opposed to just sending a couple ships out from your town and bringing some whale oil back. The Basques actually created an industry of it. We really enjoyed this tour. Juanita, the tour guide, was fantastic, super knowledgeable. She had lived in the area for like 40 years, almost her whole life. We were glad we went. It was just great.
Next, we decided to tackle the 3.1 mile out and back Tracy Hill Trail. Do you believe in yourself?
I believe.
So all things are possible.
All things are possible.
Where you climb 698 steps to the top. It's a great view. The winds were ridiculous. It just about blew us off the top. It is a little breezy up here. What do you think?
Yes, just a little. And we thought this was it. But no. Oh wait, no. It's been a lot of stairs.
We don't know how many false tops are on this thing. It goes on for miles. But I think it was worth it. It was a beautiful view, and we didn't have to worry about any bugs. Interestingly enough, this giant boulder on top of this hill is named the American Man. Nobody really knows where the name came from, but for hundreds of years people have used it as a lookout point, including looking for enemy submarines during World War II.
Okay, so this is called the pond on the hill. Some people call it First Pond. We don't have a date, but at some point the pirate William Kidd supposedly buried a treasure at the bottom of this pond. And there's a headless man, not a headless horseman, just a headless man who guards the treasure. And at one point, also no date, some industrious young people decided they were going to drain the pond. And from out of nowhere came the worst thunder and lightning storm and ran them off, scared the daylights out of them, scared everybody in the area, and the pond has not been, an attempt to drain the pond has not happened since.
And now why were they going to drain the pond?
Because the pirate William Kidd buried treasure there.
Okay.
Yeah, and the guardian is a headless man, one of Kidd's slain crew members. Ooh.
Well, what can you see?
I can see not much of anything, which I guess is why they need a lighthouse.
What was the original color code you used?
The greens and reds. All the sets real.
Bonjour, Quebec. Quebec. We are on our way to the ferry to St. Barbe in Newfoundland. So our time in Labrador has come to an end. We have really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. We've seen some really neat things. And I think we're bringing about, I don't know, 50 to 100 black flies with us in the van. And
That many bites, anyway.
that many bites for sure. So in order to catch the ferry, or the closest ferry for us to Newfoundland, is the Labrador Marine ferry, but it leaves out of Blanc Sablon, Quebec. And I don't know, my French pronunciation probably leaves a lot to be desired. So once we're on the ferry, we'll get back with you.
They're making me run, and I like that with